This plant is quite something. It's rare and hard to harvest. The red threads of the Crocus sativus are worth their weight in gold. German native Christoph Handke takes big risks to find the best saffron in the world. A lot of money is involved. Often, cheating and forgery is too.
Saffron
is the red gold, and it's the most expensive spice in the world. Therefore, a lot of people are willing to bend the rules of legality.
Hamburg Saffron King is all hyped up. He personally delivers his goods to his clients. He sells his saffron to almost every master chef in the country.
Dealing with saffron is quite stressful, as chefs tend to order it only when they have already run out, as it's so expensive. And then I need to hurry so that they can continue cooking their saffron dishes.
Down to the kitchen it goes. The Jakobs. It's a culinary institution in Hamburg. Head chef Thomas Martin has 2 Michelin stars. Saffron is his passion. He personally checks each delivery.
I can see that it's real saffron. If it was coloured saffron, the colour would have been separated from the threads, leaving them white swimming on the surface.
Warm water brings the truth to light. Fake saffron would turn white. This saffron passes the test.
The yellow colouring shows itself now.
Saffron has the advantage that it fits very delicate foods as well, like turbot or scallops. I like working with fish. Pike perch with a light champagne sauce with a hint of saffron. That gives it a nice twist at the end. I love working with fish and saffron.
Saffron was discovered for culinary use pretty late. Originally, it was used for colouring and as a medicine, but its unique taste found its way into the kitchen over the years.
If you add saffron as a spice and smell it, it's a bit sweet, intense, fruity, but also very distinctive. This unique flavour is the magic of saffron.
It's the red thread in Christoph Handke's life. It's packaged and sealed here. Almost 500 kilos of saffron per year. A few years ago, Handke still worked for a commercial broadcaster.
I became
a saffron dealer by chance. I worked in the movie industry and got acquainted with a restaurant proprietor from Hamburg, who was the reason for my change of profession.
Money can be made fast here, as there is a boom in the trade with fine spices, but there are many obstacles.
Also wenn man im Handel wirklich etwas bewegen möchte, dann muss man natürlich sehr viele Risiken eingehen. Das macht
If you want to really stir things up, you need to take a lot of risks, which makes the trade so exciting. Iran is a rather risky territory, but as an entrepreneur, you have to take higher risks in order to make some profit.
Handke wants to provide his clients only with the best saffron. Therefore, he travels to eastern Iran, close to the Afghan border. Mashhad is Iran's second biggest city and is considered one of the 7 holy sites in Shiite Islam. Saffron plays a big part in the life of its 2.5 million inhabitants. The city is a major trade center for the fine spice. Handke has traveled here many times before. He knows his way around. He sells more and more saffron in Germany and looks for new Iranian partners. His walking disability attracts people's looks, but he doesn't mind. He got used to it, he says. Everything is about saffron at the big bazaar. Saffron baking spray, saffron honey, saffron powder, and even saffron air freshener. Many of those products are manufactured chemically, and the quality is anything but good. According to the salesman, it also helps in matters of love. The price reflects this. Hanke wants to compare prices at the bazaar and find a trustworthy partner for bigger transactions. He visits many dealers, checks the quality, does the smell and water test.
Okay, yeah.
This color vampire saffron.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
He's not happy about the quality and price of this saffron.
20,000.
220,000. Okay, yes.
Buying saffron is always a matter of trust. Some dealers come up with shady ideas in their hidden shops. The white lower parts of the saffron threads are almost worthless because they're rather tasteless. It could only maybe be used to dilute saffron powder. This dealer mixes such worthless threads with genuine saffron and offers his fake for sale.
You can see the difference, as those remains are from the coloured threads. The white ones are worthless, but they became red because of the real saffron threads.
The white threads are offered by the pounds. High profits with illegal sales are tempting to many European traders, says the dealer. But that's no option for Hanke. He's not all alone on his way through the market labyrinth. He employs locals for trickier matters. Mahmoud Madani helps with the translation. They focus on another store. It's an insider's tip. And indeed, the different qualities make a good impression.
The different qualities of saffron can be quite confusing sometimes.
The dealer gains their trust by showing them the whole threads. The upper red part is precious. The white part will be cut off later.
1,400 euros per kilo.
But there's room for negotiation.
Also die Qualität ist wirklich super. Also wenn man sich das anguckt.
Look at that. The quality is great.
Farbe sehr frisch und
fresh color and a wonderful smell.
Also ist wirklich toll. Also der gerade von dem.
Gadir Ramazini and Christoph Hanke have found a connection.
He says that we can visit the field tomorrow if you've got the time. He claims to have many offers.
Ja.
Hanke gladly accepts the invitation. They drive from the trader city to the growing areas. Destination Koshma. For 5 hours, the van jolts over narrow streets and farm roads. Ramazani meets with his German client at a friend's saffron field. It gets very cold here in the highlands. It's time for harvest. The fields need to be cleared before the year's first snowfall.
Soweit man gucken kann, ist es ja eigentlich. Ja, es riecht, ja genau.
It smells nice.
Stell dir mal vor, es ist jetzt kalt, ja?
Ja.
Diese ganze Blumen.
About 200,000 flowers are needed for 1 kilo of saffron. It's a tough job, and only few make a good profit.
Es ist vielen immer gar nicht bewusst, was da für eine Arbeit dahinter steckt. Ich stehe dem Handel mit dem Iran sehr zwiespältig gegenüber. da ist auf der einen Seite so ist das, was man von außen hört.
I'm a bit conflicted about dealing with Iran, as there's a lot of negative information floating around. But once you come here and get to know the people, you see the difference. People are keen on making business. The trade embargoes keep them from developing their full potential.
Almost 200 tons of saffron are produced in Iran per year, which makes it the market leader with a market share of more than 90%.
Ich habe gesehen, dass auch Kinder hier dabei sind.
I saw children at work here as well.
Ich würde aber das Wort Kinderarbeit
You could consider it problematic, but I wouldn't call it child labor.
Das sieht mir so aus, als ob das Kind einfach mit dabei hilft.
It's similar to a child helping its mother with gardening work, like mowing the lawn.
Oder wie auch mal Rasenmähen, also das geht so in die Richtung.
In fact, there are many children working in the fields. Every helping hand counts for the day laborers and peasant farmers. Work ends at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The saffron flowers close in a miraculous way, even though the sun still shines. Closed flowers are impossible to sell. Every evening, there is a bazaar in a little town nearby. The flowers wilt very quickly and become unattractive. Therefore, things must go fast. The daily harvest is sold to wholesalers. The scent of saffron fills the air, and Handke smells business.
Salam. Heute schon gepflückt.
Ah, heute. Okay. Darf ich anfassen? Darf ich das in die Hand nehmen hier?
But the saffron threads are rather small here. The farmers provide different qualities, but this is not good enough for Handke.
You can see the crocuses wilt here, and they become worthless at a certain point in time because the threads lose their natural protection. There are many sellers here who only have small fields and only produce small quantities.
There is a strange mood on the bazaar. Since the hygienic circumstances at such places were openly criticized, people are skeptical about foreigners. German traders hardly ever come here. The police are present. People are suspicious about Handke. He receives no information. Hardly anyone agrees to talk to him.
Aber es ist wirklich sehr viel da. Also insofern haben wir Glück, dass die Ernte wirklich sehr gut war.
There's no business to be done here. For years, the demand for saffron and other fine spices has been rising. In Kulmbach, Germany, a food network offers an unusual advanced training. For the second time ever, there is a training for spice sommelier, experts in good taste. After 10 days of training, the exam. The participants are nervous. Product developers and restaurateurs in particular want to receive the certificate.
I'm a trained chef. For 2 years, we've had our own hotel and restaurant in the southwest of Germany. I manufacture and develop baby food. We use more and more different spices to define our brand in comparison to others.
Spice expert Manuela Mahn conducts the first exam.
We chose the topic saffron for you, pure luxury.
Now it's spice trader Maya Freistühler's turn. She must differentiate between the contents of the small bowls.
Could you please define for us what this is?
This is saffron. I can tell from the slightly smoky touch. A few yellow speckles, but it's still very nice. These are chili threads. People often mix those up. Also something smoky. Ground saffron?
Yes, we didn't make it too easy. You'll see it on your fingers.
Saffron threads were rather easy to spot for the participants.
It's much harder when it's ground. Of course, I also added fakes. Saffron can be mixed with other powders. Even the threads can be imitated by adding colored beef fibers or plastic threads. There's nothing you won't find.
The baby food developer also struggles with the saffron powder.
Scheint es vielleicht nur Paprika zu sein?
Is it a pepper?
Oder auch gar nicht. Oder auch gar nicht.
Ja, das ist nicht bitter, macht total gelb, also gerade mit Wasser.
But he knows it. Ground saffron.
Ja, sehr gut. Richtig. Alles gut. Wunderbar.
He likes the idea of adding saffron to his baby cereals.
Ja, es gibt auch schon die ersten.
There are already products on the market with an exotic touch. This will increase.
Das wird mehr werden.
How's the baby's reaction?
Good.
How can you tell?
Verkaufszahlen.
From sales numbers, if we sell a lot of it, we consider it positive feedback.
In the end, all participants succeeded. 20 new German spice experts. Back in Iran. Translator Mahmoud Madani and Hamburg spice trader Christoph Handke are on their way to Gadir Ramezani saffron fields. He is one of the most renowned saffron producers in the region. They've accepted his invitation. 18 laborers work on the fields plus seasonal workers. In contrast to other fields, the workers follow the strict hygiene regulations here.
They are a bit cleaner than the others.
We've got good soil, good water and a good climate. This area is the best place to grow saffron in this region.
We always need to care for hygiene as well. At the bazaar, people walk around with bare feet. They walk on the saffron, touch it throughout the day, and who knows where their hands were before.
Producers like Ramezani grow their product organically. There are no pesticides.
These fields are better than the ones we saw before. Everything grows naturally. There are some weeds in between, so that we can tell that no pesticides or herbicides are used. This is important in regards to quality, as you don't want to have these chemicals in your product.
Bees do the pollination and make another precious byproduct, saffron honey. It's very rare for saffron producers in eastern Iran to have their own laboratory, but Gadir Ramezani is an exception.
The standards may not be as high as in Germany, but it's the highest possible in Iran.
In the end, this mountain of flowers will be turned into only 120 grams of saffron. But Handke wants to buy 200 kilograms.
Wird dann nur 120 Gramm. Wirklich unglaublich aufwendig. Der Standard ist natürlich nicht so hoch wie in Deutschland hier, aber es ist schon wirklich höchster iranischer Standard.
Producing the red gold is a Sisyphean task.
Da liegen ungefähr jetzt so 15 bis 20.000
This is the equivalent to 15 to 20,000 euros. During the further process, the yellow parts, dirt, stones and black saffron threads are removed.
Saffron
can also be a bit dangerous, as it's a very strong hallucinogen. It lightens up your mood and is even lethal at a certain dose. 3 to 4 grams will provide a certain buzz. 5 grams are already toxic, and 10 grams are the lethal dose. It's also called the laughing death.
An international ISO norm defines the saffron quality. It depends on the color values that are measured at the laboratory.
This is the quality check. The Crosin value is determined with a mass spectrometer. It defines the saffron's value. I once had saffron with a Crosin value of 300, which was an incredible coloring power.
Today's delivery has a close-in value of almost 260. This could become expensive for Handke. It's even more expensive for traders who fall for fake saffron. Christoph Handke is aware that this is always hard to check. But how do people cheat? We secretly meet at a Western Iranian food laboratory. We look behind the curtains. The base for many fakes are the worthless whitish ends of the threads. Depending on the harvest's quality, they look for a suitable color. They conduct tests until the right color is found. Professional fakers like to add yellow powder that shall provide a yellow tint once a saffron test with warm water is conducted. Only a few years ago, saffron producers still openly faked in Iran. But since the state threatened them with punishment and toughened its controls, such manipulations only take place at secret laboratories. Even toxic car paint was used as coloring, but the fakes have become more and more professional. Food coloring is added, so that even professionals can hardly tell the difference. Such addition to a delivery of 100 kilos is almost impossible to detect for the trader. Therefore, trust is crucial in such a business. Gadir Ramezani invites Christoph Handke to a personal meeting at his private residence, which is a rather common procedure for bigger business transactions in Iran. Due to the political situation, West Europeans rarely visit this region. So Handke is a minor attraction now, and he's regaled.
Also vielen Dank wirklich nochmal für die ganz tolle Gastfreundschaft.
Thanks again for your exceptional hospitality.
خیلی ممنون.
Ich bin wirklich selber erstaunt, wie viel Saffran hier im Essen ist.
I'm astonished how much saffron is added to the food here.
Ein großer Bestandteil ist. Wir haben hier den
There's a saffron pudding, a very popular Iranian dessert. And there's saffron in the bread. It's even added to the baked chicken and the rice.
Dem Reis natürlich darf auch nicht fehlen.
But in order to complete the deal, Handke needs to leave Iran for a short time. Destination, Dubai. Many traders do their banking business via the Emirates, as long as there is an embargo on Iran. It's a loophole. Handke too has done so for years. He's got his partners here. An end to the sanctions against Iran wouldn't change much now. It takes a while for new ways to establish an international trade.
Daher muss ich hier Mittelsmänner beschäftigen, die dies für mich.
I need to employ middlemen who do this on my behalf. They ask for a provision of 10 to 20%, which makes the saffron even more expensive. And I need to make sure that the money really reaches the recipient.
Like many tourists, Handke also likes to visit the Emirates spice markets. The sellers are well prepared for German clients who look for saffron bargains.
Ich habe verschiedene Qualität. Einmal, zweimal, dreimal. Das ist Saffron Kamilagis Krokos. Saffron schöne Farben, gute Geschmack. Saffron macht den Kuchen Geld.
Backe Kuchen, der Bäcker hat den Ruf. Wie viel guten Kuchen backen? Du bist haben 7 Sachen. Eierschmal, Butter, Salz, Milch und Mehl. Saffron macht den Kuchen Geld.
Saffron is considered a nice souvenir, but only few tourists know what they are up against. Handke does a test.
Ja, das riecht auch nach Saffran, aber es ist
bitter. Der schmeckt bitter.
Der schmeckt bitter. Aha, okay. Für einen Touristen
It's got a bitter taste. It's hard to tell for tourists, as they are overwhelmed by the offerings here, and there are varieties on offer that sometimes don't even exist.
Cheap quality from inferior growing areas simply receives a new label here. Fake origins. Spanish saffron is quite popular for fakes.
Also ganz furchtbar, riecht auch ganz schlecht. Also das ist eigentlich eine ganz tolle Sache.
It's awful. It smells really bad. It's a good thing I discovered this. The threads are really strange, and it had a bad feel to it. It's all greasy. There's a label from Spain, which was probably added here. Many people believe that the best saffron comes from Spain, as it's well advertised. And they think that they bought Spanish saffron here.
This store owner is even more insolent. Handke asks for good saffron, placed a trusting tourist.
That one you pay 15 dirham?
A Hamburg laboratory later confirms that he was sold colored wood shavings for €4. The seller is having a laugh. Back in Iran, Christoph Handke is ready for the final negotiations. The down payment is done and the transaction details are cleared. His translator is at his side. He wants to buy 200 kilograms from Gadia Ramezani. It's a big deal for the Iranian producer too.
Ich freue mich auf erfolgreiche Vertragsverhandlungen. Ich brauche ungefähr so 200 Kilo Saffran.
The camera isn't allowed during their negotiations. They return after 2 hours.
The negotiations were successful, even though it was a bit tough. But this is how things work here. If it's too easy, it's not exciting. But I bought 210 kilos of saffron with a market value of about 400,000 euros from him.
4 weeks later, saffron with a value of almost €500,000 reaches Hamburg's harbour. The first few kilos are for Master Chef Thomas Sampe.
This dish requires a bit of saffron to reach its perfection.
Wenn Sie hohe Qualitäten von Saffran benutzen, ist es so, Sie öffnen die Dose.
If you use high-quality saffron, you open the box and smell it instantly. It incites you to use saffron more often.
He loves to use saffron in dishes with fish and scallops. It's a Hamburg tradition.
Aber es ist ja wirklich so, dadurch, dass in der Speicherstadt
many carpet traders had their storage in this area. Therefore, saffron was introduced and found its way into Hamburg's cuisine.
This closes the circle between Iranian saffron and Hamburg's cuisine.